Hello, GeoGuessing tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance with me, BlueAnkylo, and our team of daring adventurers. A Spellblade that doesn't seem very good so far, a trainer who is mostly only useful against monsters they can control, a Geomancer who seems decent and reliable, and a Evoker Slummoner that's got a few really good spells and a couple questionable slow spells. Overall, still quite fun. So what I've done, as you can probably see, is I've specifically drained all of our Geomancy spell slots because I've been trying to figure out how this works, and I've figured it out. It doesn't actually say anything about it, as far as I know, in here how it works. It does say you can recharge spell slots if you use the terrain ability, but the trick is they're back. It's not a matter of houses, tents, inns, whatever. As soon as you change, and I like double tested this a couple times. As soon as you change terrain, all their slots recover. So when you're on the overworld, there is basically no reason not to spam Geomancy, whichever ability you like, all the time, because you can recover it by going there. It's recovered. So if in the middle of a dungeon, of course you can't do that, but I didn't notice that. I didn't have a lot of spell slots early game, so I just use skill when you only have one of each and you recover them via skill usage anyway. It just didn't ever seem to be relevant. But yeah, there's no reason not to just go Thunderbolt or whatever, because you're going to get it back immediately if you care. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to figure out. I think I want to buy a couple save items. Or did I buy some cabins? I may have forgotten to buy cabins in Elfland. That was on my to-do list, and then I got sidetracked. I have enough, but it would be nice to stock up a little bit better. I think they sell cabins here. I never remember exactly which town sells which, like, tent house cabins, That should be enough. Okay, well, we got our... we did a cast... Last episode, we dealt with the Earth Cave, Vampire Lich, we dealt with Ordeals, we got our canoe. Feeling pretty good. I mean, I've got some questions still for some of these party members. But, I think I decided we're just going to go to Volcano next. The main reason for that is we have a water and ice sword, which are effective in the volcano. So, hey, let's go there. Other than that, yeah, more water when you're in a river. Makes sense. I mean, do I have to say it out loud? There's water in rivers? That drown spell did not work. Do we have a healing at all? Just a cleanse? It's not great. That spell seems to be trash. My opinion on that is garbage. Supposedly kills enemies. What did it say? Under 300 HP, unless they resist water, death. Does everything in the rivers resist water? In which case, what is that supposed to do? At least we recover our Geomancy slots immediately, right? Nothing stopping me from going Burnination. So yeah, I could have made the early game a little bit easier if I'd been spamming this on the overworld a little bit more. But hey, now we know. Alright, and then we cabin up. And let's start doing some volcano diving. I think I would guess that similar to Earth Cave, on the bottom floor, there will be an Ifrit summon to pick up. But let's make sure we've got our... Well, wait. If we go... Aha! Now, do we get random encounters? No. So walking on hurt tiles is even better with a Geomancer. Like, it's usually decent. You take 1 damage and no encounters. But this is great. Okay, I like that. Cool. It's not... Like, it's a pretty niche ability. It's only going to matter in, like, 2 dungeons. So, don't get too excited. No trap tiles in here, so keep an eye out for summon fights. Paralisks we hate. Also, we're in Volcano now, so we've got single target fire, AoE fire with burn, firewall. Don't forget to get your firewall set up before you play. Fire resistance and healing is pretty good though, actually, for this dungeon. And end fire. Interesting. That's bad though, because enemies are going to be weak, are going to resist fire, so it's doing well. You get the damage up at least, but the end fire seems particularly pointless. Anyway, let's deal with these birds. Yeah, they don't have too many hit points. I guess I should be going for control and stuff. I do expect there to be a fire bell somewhere. I think it's in the treasure floor. The one that has like the ice sword and everything in it. Or the ice... Yeah, the ice sword, I think. These kind of fights are probably decent for doing some AoE fire. Nothing... How did we do 20 damage to a giant? Is it really that weak? The giant shouldn't be resistant to fire. That's weird. Oh, I should be using the Zeus's Gauntlet. Seeing as we specifically got that early, that does give me a nice Lightning 2 caster, which will work on these fights. We also have access to some free light healing if we want. Our sustainability should be pretty high because we did our deals early. I think we can control these the same as we can control fire elementals, or earth elementals. Yeah, the heal staff doesn't heal very much. Like, it's nice because it's free, but... Giant Sword, probably not going to be good again. 21-20. I mean, it would help kill red giants and green giants, I guess. Because they both exist in here. But... I guess there's other enemies that have the giant tag. Ogres might. When you can change your weapons mid-battle. Makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna get burned by hydras every now and then. In theory, our Spellblade should be doing bonus damage here. Because I think... We can double check, but I believe fire elementals are weak to both ice and water. So we could use either of our two new swords, basically. Immune, but we don't have that. It's not a random. It's not actually the randomizer. All right, loot: silver glove, silver hat, skill potion, gray worm guarding nothing. Yeah, the free healing, it's nice. Any dungeon where you have a geomancy option that has AoE healing, that's good. Because we don't have a dedicated healer, so definitely nice to have that as an option. All that for a little bit of gold. Alright, that's... Yeah, as usual, not really worth the hassle. Getting small bird packs, which is nice. They can come in much larger groups and considerably mess up our day. And I do like that we get kind of a EXP boost just because we have the trainer. Like, it's not... I'm not sure of the total amount of XP we've gathered this run, how much of it has been from bonus XP, but like I feel like it adds up. Alright, let's not take floor damage. Let's not deal with that either. That's just too many scorpions. Alright, let's go. So now we got to get past all the, you know, fire floors, which this is about as easy as it ever gets because 0 damage and probably not very many encounters, you know. I'm not sure if there's going to be another appearance of our sword dude. He's been giving us a lot of cool swords, but there is already a fire and ice sword, so maybe we won't. Like, he seems to give us dungeon appropriate elemental swords for the Spellblade, which is cool. But oh no, there he is. All right. All right, this is an Agama tile. I don't always forget, but I often forget. But then again, should we be doing an Agama grind if we can control them? Didn't work. Maybe we need a little bit more levels. But like, Agama grinds are good. We could basically do double value Agama grind. Now, if you're doing solo trainer, which sounds painful, that would be, like, assuming you have the level to just one-shot them, you'd get double the XP per fight, which is pretty good. This is where... There is an ice sword on this floor. No, I didn't take it, and no, I don't remember where it is. The heat is getting to me. I have to get out of here. Oh, he didn't even give it to me? He just reminded us that there's an ice sword? Okay. Well, I mean, I already got one. But I guess we could get it back up. Fire hydrant. Not too bad. We're starting to do some damage. At least when we can take advantage of a elemental weakness, which might get easier as time goes on if we get a lot of swords. But we'll see. Can we equip flame shields? Maybe. I hope so. No. Dang it. Spellblade. The equipment they can equip, the weapons and armor they can equip, are not very consistent. Like, they could not equip iron, but they can equip silver. But they cannot equip, like, the good fire armor, but they can equip ice swords. Like, it's weird. I guess it's sort of like Red Mage tier, except a little bit better. Maybe? Oh, let's fight a couple Agamas. This is also good for science, for a relatively tanky creature, to figure out, like, how often we can control it. And that heat ability is pretty weak, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I'm really not going to do a lot of grinding here. This is, like I said, mostly science, right? We got to level up already. And I would say technically with the heal staff, we could probably do this forever, but... I would like to get at least one control off, let's say. Also, I still haven't found any fire... This is actually really annoying. If the fire bell is in the bottom floor, then you don't even get to use it in the dungeon, basically, because you're going to be done by the time you get it. That seems like maybe not the best design. Not that fire works very well in here anyway, but this is the only place we're going to get fire... Hey, we got him. Yeah, doubles XP. That's still... I mean, it's not crazy, but it's good. But yeah, if we have a fire bell, and we only get it after we're done the fire dungeon where we can use fire geomancy, like what? We're never going to get any value, right? Or am I missing something? Well, we're getting potentially 1200 XP per fight. That's not bad. Solo grinding, of course, would be pretty solid. But it's definitely not 100%, so we're not getting a control instantly. So I assume that's just level or something. You know, if you grinded long enough, you'd probably be easily getting first shot control. That was a pretty big hit. Oh, right, I'm at the point where, in theory, it might be better to switch to the ice sword, because we get an extra swing. In fact, I think that's pretty obvious. We're losing 3 points of damage. We might be losing more like 4 or 5 points of damage because of that plus 50%, but an extra swing is an extra swing. Cool. Well, I guess I better go pick up the fire armor just in case. But other than that, I mean, I have to check the rooms because there's got to be a fire bell in here somewhere. It makes too much sense. They can't not give us one of those. Pretty sure there's one of each primary element. Which means I'll have to figure out where the... Actually, I think I remember where the ice bell is in the ice cave. Because we usually pick it up on our route. Ooh, giants. Can't control these bad boys. Might as well, I guess. Ice sword doing good work here, at least. Probably more than normal, too, because we have a special Spellblade Bladecraft ability, which means we should have enough, like, a damage bump that's actually stronger than, like, a knight or a fighter using it at this point. Then again, the fighter might just have enough higher hit rate and strength that it does the same damage anyway. Like, I think the Spellblade is not getting a ton... Well, they're getting some strength level ups. But, like, their hit rate, I think, is 2% per level, which is 1 less than the primary marshals that get 3% per level. And that's going to definitely hold them back in terms of, like, raw output. And having, like, bonus damage on elemental swords is good, but... I'll probably control this guy, too. Nice. I mean, that's pretty good. Can we equip good armor, at least? No. I mean, maybe I should hold on to these till we get promoted. Because maybe we can do that. Maybe we can equip fire armor once promotion on somebody. But that's kind of... that's disappointing. Definitely a letdown. Okay, well, let's see if we can find a bell. And I also need to find a summon. I think I remember where it is. I have played through with a summoner once, so I did get them all, I'm pretty sure. You can also just switch to them quick to see if there's anything nearby. But avoiding the floor damage is nice. This is the room that has maybe the bell? Yeah, okay. So at the very least, we can use that in this dungeon to do a little bit extra fire damage against all the enemies that are resistant to fire. Yeah, I know, it's not very exciting. mean, we can see, I think red giants must resist fire. Like, they should. Yeah, it's not going to do much. Yeah, I'm having a hard time imagining when the fire bell is ever going to help us. I kind of think if I was designing it, I would want to put the fire bell pretty close to the top of the dungeon. Maybe the armory would be a good place to hide it. Because otherwise, it's only this floor and a boss where you can equip it. And at this point, after that, you're never going to be able to use fire again, really. Like, not regularly. Right, all the rooms on the right are empty. We've done this a couple times. The only item left is bottom middle. These chests on the right are probably linked to some other chests. I don't remember which items they're linked to, but those ones are all garbage. But this one has something, if I remember correctly. Added in the Renaissance, at least. Hey, is this a trap tile or just random? I don't usually, you know, go into these rooms, as you'd expect. 177. That 40 base power goblin is getting pretty strong, I gotta say. Hey, level 18, nice. Scale, maybe we can equip scale armor. I thought there was bone armor in here somewhere too, but I'm just gonna drop like a random glove. Okay, we can equip it. 32 armor is actually pretty solid. Alright. So the trainer can equip scale. I swear there was bone armor somewhere, but maybe it's in a different dungeon. This is just, yeah, I think the scale armor normally you can't equip. Okay, there's no trap tile there. That was just a random red dragon. Now, the hotspot did decent damage. I mean, 100 damage. Like, it's less than a regular physical attack on a martial. And that's kind of my benchmark. If your spells do less damage than a fighter swinging a sword or a monk punching, you know, it's hard to be super excited. But, what I was going to check is red giants. Yeah, they weak ice to water and resist fire and wind for some reason. I mean, I guess they're pretty big, hard to blow them around. But yeah, Carrie's room, and yeah, I did remember. Good. Okay, let's do this first, of course. And we can also avoid the fire damage. Although, not this fire damage. Well, never mind, we can avoid it. Haha, thanks, game. So, this is a bit of a pain, because normally you'd be burning to death. But, it forces you to travel around this floor a lot extra, which is definitely a bit painful. I don't want to use up all my spell charges. We got 2 bosses to fight now. Nice. Paralyze is good. Good random status. Not weak enough. You're not weak enough, Ash. Alright. Maybe you are weak enough. For millennia, my rage has fueled the bowels of this crater. Unsated and unbaited, its flames have forged instruments of death and razed cities to the ground. Alright, Mr. Edgy. Where's the other one? There it is. It's, thanks to the Geomancer, much safer to walk around and look for these sparkles. Okay, Steiner, you know what? Yeah, I think fighters would have got to 3 hits much earlier with their faster hit percent growth. But Ice Sword plus 3 attacks is still very good. It just, you know, you're not as efficient at hit rate as a fighter class. They called me Infernal, the Jinn of the Eternal Flame. But then came the Usurper, and with her master's power, cursed me to this plane. Does he guard the... I feel like usually they guard the way forward when we do these summons. Not today. Here? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, are you guys ready for summon battle? This has to be our first level 5 summon, so hey, might be tough. Are you in league with that devil? Come, let me show you the rage of Ifrit. You shall bathe in the fires of hell until you beg for mercy, and you shall have none. Alright, this is the edgiest of them so far. Did he go first and begin his super attack? Because I have a bad feeling about this. Is it worth putting enchant ice or water on Ash? This is the first summon that doesn't have friends, so maybe nothing to do. We can't get fire protection. See, this is the one fight so far where being able to put anti-fire on everyone would have been really good. It's not an option. We're gonna get destroyed by that. Maybe no. If he uses it as a skill, we can't reflect it, right? There's no way. Maybe we just go for the confuse again. I don't know. Maybe. No. Hellfire. Yeah. 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 I didn't really have any options for that one. Okay. I think we might be dead. Unless we go early and kill him with a goblin? No. Well, the good news is we can just try again. Did we even lose any spells for it? Yeah, we actually, it's like they make a save before you do these, and if you lose, you just revert. Okay. I think we maybe got unlucky because he got a first strike and started charging his mega attack before we got to do anything. But our group might not be very well prepared for this guy. We have no way to put anti-fire on because it's in the astral realm rather than a volcano. And not enough speedy healing compared to, you know, other classes. I mean, it's not the end of the world. If we can't win this fight right now, we can come back, I guess. But that sucks. I'll definitely give it a couple tries. Should have healed first, but okay, we can. Not much, but better than. Maybe that'll be the 30 HP we need to survive, right? So he still ambushes and starts charging immediately. That sucks. I mean, there's nothing. The astral plane kind of sucks for geomancy, honestly, because we're not taking advantage of anything here, unless we can happen to get a random status on him. Well, turn order maybe not working, but instantly dead. Dang. I don't know, maybe I should just be goblin punching and hoping to kill. We certainly do a lot of damage with it, it's just... Damn. Like, is this... Okay, well let's go fight Carrie. Maybe we'll get a level... We're probably nowhere near a level up. Man, that's rough for this group. Like, different parties have different challenges, obviously. That's looking really bad for this specific group. I mean, because I've done it once before, what are we looking at for Ifrit here? What am I... 1,200 hit points, quite a lot. He's gonna go Hellfire, Fire 3, Hellfire, Fire 3. But he can do a melee attack that will also one-shot people. He's actually only weak to water, not ice. So it would be better off to equip the water sword than the ice sword. In fact, he resists ice. Interesting. So we would want water. He does officially resist confusion, paralysis, sleep, and fire? I don't know what that's about. Oh, does it mean he has end fire by default, maybe? Yeah. Absorb fire makes sense. So I don't think we can non-elemental confuse him. The status effect on the Geomancy still could hit him with some effects, just not confusion, paralysis, or sleep, I think. But you might better get him with something else. But what about Carrie? Is she water as well? Water and status, as is tradition. Okay. So this is where that title sword definitely should be a bit stronger. Oh yeah, the lava axe. I forgot. I keep forgetting that technically we have the axe wielder in this group. Now, Carrie is not going to be weak to fire. And in fact, is weak to status. So do you think you could stun her? That's a status. Maybe we don't use the fire axe against the fire fiend. But we could go water sword, maybe stun. At least now we can go resist fire. And because she's weak to status, I guess I don't have a... We could also just reflect, but... I mean, if we had a chance to reflect Titan, we could probably reflect his... Or, if we could probably reflect his Fire 3, but I don't think we can reflect the... Well, I could try, but I don't think you can reflect the summons, but maybe. Of course, turn order, thank you. Anyway, we heal up and resist fire. We should be... Yeah, we got her confused. Might as well go damage up. And might as well put a regen on. We're not hitting very hard here. Our boss killing is pretty weak. She's gonna kill herself for us, though. Thanks to that confusion. I mean, I could charge up a big one, but... eh. The attack up should eventually get us through, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wow, there you go. Okay, do we leave and save, or try Ifrit one or two more times? I think we try, because we don't lose anything after we fail. As long as I have enough spells to kill Carrie, which we've done now, we should be able to leave any time. We might as well try this while we're here, right? Otherwise, we have to redo this whole dungeon. Not that it's very long, but still. Ugh. Wrong square. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, it's a good thing that also counts as, boy, we have run into red dragons before. Sure is lucky that didn't happen. They just instantly ambush blaze you to death. Can we run? I don't think you can run from this fight. This fight sucks because we don't really have again, no easy way to sweep them. Except for Astral Swift getting a KO. Never mind. Okay, so you can run from them. Thanks. That's good to know. Alright, game. Now, I will say that the summon bosses are... I think they're expected to be pretty challenging, but clearly, Ifrit is way stronger than Carrie. Like, it's not even close. Like, what was that in the bestiary? The Carrie has 600 HP, right? 600 health, 50 absorb, same general weakness, although status is probably, like, really enough to trivialize her, right? Whereas our same floor special boss that you need to get your spell, twice as much health, a little bit less absorb, technically. I think more damage. She does 40 to 80 times 6, 75 to 150 times 2. I guess it's similar amounts of damage. But he's got Hellfire, which is way stronger. And it seems like the fight with Ifrit always starts as an ambush, which is, like, actually quite terrible. Yeah. So he's gonna just kill people turn 1 every time. Now, I do have my water sword equipped, so it might be a little bit better this round. Maybe you could control? I don't think I tried. I didn't expect that to work. It seems like he might be immune to confusion. I guess I was going to try that. We can see. Turn order is good. We'll find out if it works at least. Cannot be controlled. So, yeah, it doesn't work. Not really a surprise. So, is it really just a DPS race? And I think he's going to win. Like, there's no... We literally buffed him. That's great. Oh, good. You can reflect fire 3, but it heals him, of course. I don't think we can beat this guy right now. That sucks. Like, he's got 1,200 hit points. I'm going to try one more time, and we're just going to go straight DPS. We've got the water weapon equipped. This is my last try. I don't know what else I could do. He cannot be controlled. He cannot be confused. I mean, maybe the Geomancy one still has a chance to KO him or something. Like, you know, if you roll insta-death and he fails his magic defense saving throw. You know, maybe? But I feel like we don't get... He starts by killing someone, you know? We don't get to do much. If my major DPS, which is the Spellblade, gets killed on turn 1... yeah, I think we just lose. And, I mean, the Summoner with Goblin will do okay damage. But he's got 1,200, so let's see. If we can't get anywhere close, then we'll call it. I said I was going to try to go DPS this time. We'll try to go DPS this time. 134, 150, 220, 400. 430, about 570, 650, give or take. About, say, 700 tops and dead. So that got us maybe 3/4 of the way through, but not very close, really. Alright, I think Ifrit is too strong. That sucks. I don't really see a way we win that other than just getting a lucky status affliction, assuming that's possible. Which, because we don't have time even if you're like, oh, but blue, you could do huge damage with Titan, but it takes too long, and we can't reflect the big Hellfire, and you can reflect fire, but it just heals him anyway. I don't think you can hit him with Confuse, so I don't see a way to do that, right? I mean, levels, sure, come back with a higher level, but that sucks. Maybe that fight is tuned a little bit too difficult, just, you know, I don't think our group is terrible, but we're just not equipped to deal with that at all. Like, not even close. And I don't really have any options. Like, I can't see anything we can do right away that will make that any easier at all. Like, until everyone can get fire protection, which nobody can equip the armor that gives you fire protection, so all we're looking at is ribbons? I mean, you don't get those until we're promoted and basically going to the end of the game. I'm a little bit tilted. I've generally been a pretty big fan of the balancing in this game, feeling like it's generally pretty fair. That's the first one maybe that I'm like, I don't really see any way we could do that. And, like, sure, it depends on your party. Some groups are going to be stronger at different points, but I think this is, like, a decently balanced party, and we just... That fight is set up so you can't do anything. I mean, sure, if you've got someone with anti-fire, if you've got a white mage or a green mage or a paladin or something. But, I'll have to think about it. I mean, we'll go back eventually, but half the point of doing the volcano before ice was ice is generally a more dangerous dungeon, and I wanted at least to have access to Ifrit. Even though I've also complained about not thinking... Is there no fire glove? Did we miss that? Or is it like the thief has to get it or something? Hold on. I think I've got a list. 1 second. I have someone made a list of all the armor and weapons in the game and where they are. Give me just a second here. I feel like there should, like, this might be a way to get fire protection if it exists. Gloves. Where are you, gloves? Shields, headwear, armwear. Okay. Fire glove. It's thief only, so nope. No way to get fire protection right now at all. I don't need to go. What am I doing? We already got we got everything. Okay. Well, actually the fire glove protects you from fire. It's fire armor protects you from ice, but fire gloves protect you from fire. So that would be one way to take less damage. However, can't get it. I don't like that. I don't like that there are thief-only equipment. Seems kind of lame. I mean, it's good for thieves, I guess, but... Like, I don't mind if the thief-only equipment is stuff that only thieves can equip. The thief being able to get the thief glove from the search is fine. But... when, like, the red mage... ultimate armor is locked behind a thief, it basically means you have to take a thief with a red mage if you want to use their final armor. Kind of rude. Maybe there should be a shop later on where you can just buy it for a bunch of money. Some other thief stole it, you know. Locke has got a sales a vendor later on in the game, maybe somewhere around Lefane or something, and you can just buy all the stuff you missed. I mean, there's all those buildings in Lefane that don't have any doors. You just put a missed item shop for all the thief gear. Maybe. Okay, well, Volcano went not great. Let's try Ice. Great start. So this is where, well, we can control them. We got ice spells now. Looks like almost exactly the same as fire, except, you know, ice. So that's good. The wizards resist ice, though, so yay. Good start. Basically, none of this matters, so sucks to be us. I guess the Zeus's Gauntlet is probably as good as we get here. Probably should just reset. Well, no. This is definitely a perk for doing ordeals first, because we don't have any way to easily clear these fights. I mean, melee damage does work, but... maybe I should have... nah, the heal staff is good. Saves me a heal potion, maybe. Alright. One fight survived. If you were Shiva, where would you be hiding? I mean, damage up at least? I don't know. It's not... it sucks. I'm very much struggling with how the Geomancer works, where you go into a dungeon, you get dungeon elemental affinity spells, but then everything in that dungeon resists those spells. Like... how could you rebalance that so it doesn't suck? I mean, they still do some damage, it's just... no Shiva's down here? No. I can't remember where she is. I'm sure she's in here somewhere. Probably not on this floor. Yeah, because the undead all resist ice. The frost wolves, frost giants. Remoras, like all that stuff resists. Like almost every single enemy in here resists ice, right? Like even worse than the volcano, where most things resisted fire. Once again, I'm trying to make the Geomancer work, and they seem cool. Haha. But the mechanics aren't really stacking up, you know? You really need to be able to use... I mean, it is kind of the standard FF1 rule. You generally want to use spells that take advantage of an elemental weakness. That's why a Black Mage is so solid at this point in the game, because you have Fire 2 for here, and Ice 2 for the Volcano. So you can do decent damage with a spell slot. A Flame Sword? What good is that? Waste of a treasure chest if you ask me. Go ahead, it's all yours. Where's that legendary weapon? Ice Spell, and eventually a Fire Sword. Should have sold some stuff. So at the very least, we can boost our ice spells that don't work. Right? Like this is the problem, right? So the Flame Sword, assuming we can equip it, but yeah, of course. It is a bit weaker than the Ice Sword, but our level... Oh man, we're also 2 levels, but we're dropping a swing for this, which sucks. But in theory, everything in here is weak to fire or undead, so it's good. It will do more damage, I think. But yeah, that's rough. We also might just die right here, so there's always that. Probably these guys actually aren't weak to any elements, so here you go. Sorcerers, don't worry, aren't weak. They're not resistant to elements. Congratulations. But I would say basically everything else. Alright, that was fine. We'll put... This is probably the floor that has the... yeah, there it is. That has Shiva on it. Do I guess we'll get our ice armor first. But we'll try. So we're going to have the same problem as Ifrit, where Shiva's going to do a ton of ice damage, but we cannot get anti-ice because it's not the ice cave. Whereas this fight, at the very least, if I get a turn, we can give ourselves ice resistance. Also, we can probably confuse them. Well, never mind. Oof. Ouch. Okay, we got a control off. That's good. I'm just going to go for the kill, I think. It's probably nearly dead. Alright, done. Now, I'm going to assume we can't equip this either. Of course not. Okay, so let's see if we have better luck with Shiva then. Now, if we can't win this one either, my consideration for this group is going to be dropping very quickly if we can continue to not actually win our summons, because our summoner... Not that I love these summons, but, you know, we have no way to make them stronger if they can't even gain new summons, right? Like, it's kind of it's what they need. It's important. Suddenly, even this fight's kind of kicking my butt. Nether Blast. So sometimes, I don't know what controls it. We did get a typical one, but sometimes when you use the terrain skill, you do end up using an ability that's not even on the list of the 4 spells. I don't know how it's figured, but I've definitely noticed that a couple times. We got a preemptive strike. I think there's a good chance we just die to Shiva anyway, so the XP for winning these fights doesn't really matter. Oh, well, hello, my darling. And who might you be? I mean, it's probably Shiva, right? You know the drill. Frosty. We can run from them, technically, right? I always think you can't run from them, but it's the... You should. It's the gas dragons you can't run from. And maybe the zombie dragons? I don't know why. Who decided which dragons are unrunnable? It's rude. Also, this is a lot of heal potions. We're probably okay and not going to run out, but blizzards, man. Oh, it's been so long since I've had visitors. I've been positively lonely. Where is the... There she is. Yeah, there's no preparation we can do. So... Flame Sword, she should be... Well, I mean, we could look at her stats. Again, if you're playing for the first time, you can't do this. But because I've played it before... I mean, she's got less hit points than Ifrit. Maybe. Also resists confusion, paralysis, sleep. So we're probably not going to get her with any of those. Boss probably means uncontrollable as far as tags go. Ice, and she doesn't start with Diamond Dust. It goes charge up, Ice, Ice 2. So she might be a fair bit easier than Ifrit. Shall we have some fun? Oh, I promise I don't bite. I'm afraid I can't say the same for this bitter cold. Oh, well, she might just kill us with birds. There's always that. I don't know if that's worth it. We need to kill those birds. We can reflect her ice spells, but again, she'll heal. I'm pretty confident. Let's try to confuse the birds if we get a turn. Well, it doesn't matter. We're going to have to just kill them. Good. Okay, part 1 of Annoying Boss dealt with. Okay, good damage. I don't think Ash can do anything. We just have, like, very, very limited options, you know? And I think when she does her special, we might just be dead. Because she's going to do Ice 3. I guess we could try to reflect it and heal her, which seems very counterproductive. I have to be careful because I would boost her magic if I do this and then reflect it. But there's nothing else you can do. It'd be cool if you could use these to cast a spell. Like, I don't think they do. But, like, if you could use your bell to do, like, a basic fire... You know, that would... Maybe that's the way to fix Geomancer. Let them use their bells to do either a random associated Geomancy or something. So you're getting out of current terrain effects you can basically bring around. That would be a way to power them up. That would be nice. I guess, like, later on, I could give them a lightning or mage staff or something. Maybe the mage staff doing fire 2 gets boosted by equipping the fire bell. Maybe? But that's, again, we're not going to get that till this doesn't even matter. We're going to be out of here. We'll never be in the ice cave again at that point, I don't think. I think Ice 3 is going to kill us, so I have to try to reflect it, which sucks. Oh, we're just going to die. Yeah. Well, this is not looking good. Unless we get a random status to get her. Now, her HP isn't crazy high, but... I mean, we're dead, right? There's just nothing you can do. Oh, just DPS. Okay, well, I'll take it. Oh, darling, that was what... I'll take it. We still have a dead player, unfortunately. You were positively superb. Yeah, and you don't come back after you win. Of course, we get Rydia's song after she dies. Okay, good news. We defeated one of the summons. Bad news. I think I'm going to have to leave and come back. Nah. This is real bad, too. I really want to save. I might be able to survive the one more loop, but Yeah, I was thinking there would be an ice axe in here. I don't know if it's worth... The control is what I care about. I guess in theory, now that I have an ice and fire sword equivalent for the trainer, I could certainly equip the frozen axe against... I could have equipped the lava axe for Shiva. That would have done a little bit more damage at least. Yeah, okay, I probably should have done that. I was kind of hoping I'd get like a lucky stun, but... Yeah, I guess for bosses, you need to have the appropriate axe. I think that might be where I'm getting now, is... You need to... Because if you can't control them, that ability does nothing. But when you're fighting random encounters, control is very solid. I don't know, hopefully this does a bit of damage because we're boosted. What else can we do? Basically useless. Okay, well, we're 55 minutes. We're going to have a slightly longer episode today because we're going to go back, resurrect, and finish the ice cave. It might be easier to go to Provoca than Crescent. I don't know. Boats got lower encounter rate than land. I've never counted it out, actually. If you have to walk, you'd count from approximately the sea tile there. Provoca's pretty close. I don't know. I think they're maybe a similar number of steps, although the encounters by here are easier if you get them, so maybe this is more efficient. Not the sort of thing I usually have to worry about, but hey, Ice Cave's gonna kill people. Usually, that just means you reset because you're game over. But we defeated Shiva. I really didn't want to have to redo that. So the volcano had the ice sword and the fire axe and the fire armor. The Ice Cave had the fire sword, the ice armor, and then the other ice weapons. It's weird because the swords, like the vanilla NES fighter red mage weapons, are opposite of the element, which means you can take advantage of them in the dungeon you get them. But the Renaissance versions are the associated one. You get ice elemental weapons in the ice dungeon for the ice dagger, the ice spell, all that stuff. But they don't help you, right? Like, this is what I mean by the Geomancer. I think the FF1 devs knew that giving you a weapon that, well, I mean, they're bugged, so it doesn't actually work. But the idea is they give you the weapon that would be effective in the dungeon you're in, so you can take advantage of it. Whereas Renaissance, it's like, oh, it's an ice dungeon, so this is where you get the ice weapons. But especially for the Geomancer, that really doesn't help much. Anyway, we're going to win this time for sure. I didn't really look at what Shiva can do, but, you know, sure. Strong ice damage. Woo. Maybe we can try it against Ifrit if we go back. The trouble is, it's a slow charge, you know? Sorcerer one-shotting people. Fun. Man, this episode has not been going my way. My regard for this group is dwindling. The Spellblade, not as good as a regular fighter. I don't think whatever little buff they get with enchant spells seems kind of worthless. Their base number of attacks and damage is not as good as like a regular marshal. Their armor sucks. They don't really have any AoE or way to help the team. There's not really a lot of... they just don't have very much utility other than a weaker fighter that has a couple special swords that aren't really helping very much, right? Like, I guess part of being a Spellblade is you get those Stranger that drops custom new swords. Now, I don't know. Maybe these kinds of swords could be equipped by other classes, like fighters and red mages. But if they are unique to... I should have bought more heal potions, I forgot. But if they're unique to only the Spellblade, you can't even, like theoretically, you could have a fighter and a Spellblade, and the Spellblade could basically give their cool weapons to the fighter, and they'd be better with them. And maybe they do enchant element on the fighter, and that would be good. Like, and by fighter I mean Dragoon, Death Knight, etc., all that stuff. But that's like a completely support class. That seems dubious value. I'll pick up some gold. Actually, there's like a harp or something in here. I don't think it's anything for us, but being thorough, I guess. Lots of money. We're going to want to buy a whole bunch of gold bracelets in a minute, so probably... Oh, okay. It's fine, it's fine. I still think saving after we killed Shiva was the play and resurrecting while we were outside, but this sure slows everything down. Actually, this is a very good benchmark for our group. We saved the ice cave for last, which means we've got all the gear possible. There's nothing else we can do other than grind for levels. This is as strong as this group can get for this dungeon. And they suck. I mean, we're going to beat it. It's not impossible, but this fight, like, we're weak. I mean, I guess we charge up a Ramu here because it's going to take that long to kill this fight. But yeah, any other party. It's still actually, the Zeus's glove might be better, honestly. I don't know. But here you go. By the time we cast Ramu, half the enemies were dead. Like, it's cool, but I really think the delay is just a huge debuff. It's way too penalizing. I don't really care about caps. We'll just pick this up. I don't think we can equip it, but I'll test. I'm hoping that with a promotion, you know, maybe. Alright, can we just control you? Let me just punch you to death, that works. Sure, the eye fight is not that difficult, but that's... We got good turn order, so that kind of saves us, but... yeah, it's more like these fights, they're going to kill us again. I don't know if I should take this fight. Nah, we should try to run, I think. Good. It's a bit of a gamble either way. If you fail your run, it's better to attack. At least maybe kill one of them or something, but... Okay, this floor usually not the end of the world. Might as well Ramu, I guess. I'm still very much not convinced by this. I guess, you know... Okay, if Ramu... Maybe a way to make summons a little bit more viable for me, the charge type, is if on the second turn, you went first. Like, if it cost you 2 turns, but it always triggered at the beginning of the second round before the enemies go, that would still suck, but I think that would be maybe enough. It's still taking you 2 turns, but at least you wouldn't have the risk of, as much risk of being interrupted, because I worry that I'm going to start that spell and then just get killed or stunned or put to sleep, and then you just lose it anyway, right? Like, or the group just kills all the enemies anyway by the time you finally cast it. Like, if you cast it at the end of the second round and all your allies get 2 turns to kill the enemies, assuming you have any combat power at all with the rest of the group, you know, the summon's not going to kill anything, right? Like, 2 rounds is usually enough. So that just means you've got another dead weight class that's not actually contributing. Like, the summoner has other good abilities besides the slow summon, so that really that's what salvages them in my eye. If they didn't have Goblin, Kate Sith, Unicorn, Kirin, Carbuncle's a bit niche, but in theory those are all pretty cool abilities. Those keep them from being totally F tier garbage, but I do think it's very unfortunate the basic elemental damage sweepers seem... I'm still just not seeing their value, you know? Anyway, I know we're a little bit overtime episode-wise. This has been a really rough episode for me. But let's get promoted. That is important. So now... Yay! We can equip actual armor. I was really hoping this would happen. Okay, so although it's only the Mystic Knight, once promoted, they can clearly use some real equipment. And we can drop the spares, unfortunately. But that does also free up the gold bracelet. Someone can equip it. So that means I only need to buy 1 more. Although... Yeah, actually the scale mail is pretty good for the trainer. Let's go revive Lena, and then I'll show off their skills. And all that. We can also check their new quests here while we're doing stuff. Oh, and maybe we can we equip anything new? Looks like nobody's equipment has changed, or weapon equipment. All right, so quests. Have you seen the Wandering Swordsman, who is searching for some ultimate weapon? He passed here through several times. He likes the bridge north of here. Seems to like, you know, large bridges for some reason. I think we need to finish checking all of the locations before he'll show up there, but yeah, eventually. Like all the places he shows up in the dungeons that shows you swords. There's going to be, I think, one in, at the very least, Water Shrine and Mirage. Maybe Waterfall? I don't know. I once met a man who made special food for monsters. I bet a Beastmaster like you could use something like that. I heard he's in Gaia. Okay, I've never done this quest, so that's new to me. I heard there's a sage in Provoker who specializes in elementalist weapons. So if you don't want to carry these around anymore, you can basically throw them away. I don't know if that's worth it, but you're kind of giving up your ability to do elemental damage if you just ditch them. And a rumor that the King of Dragons has a special challenge for summoners who've shown their dedication to defeating the forces of evil. I believe we can't do that till pretty late game, of course, because it'll be probably a level 8 summon. We can't even seem to win against the level 5 summon, so I'm not really looking forward to that. What are we at? Hour and a bit episode. Do I want, like, revenge on Ifrit one more time? I would really like to end with this, like, not being a huge disaster. Let's try this. I need the healing potions. Hold on. I feel incomplete for my episode if I can't even finish one of my primary objectives. We're stronger now, right? We're promoted. Oh, I didn't look at the skills. Okay. I gotta take a minute to look at our new skills. I did promise that. So, new skills. We have Runic. Now, this might be a way to deal with Ifrit. If it works on the summon. I don't know if it does. This does charge up your well, they're now a Rune Knight instead of a Spellblade. So, this one might be good. It does affect your own spells, so it does say specifically black, white, or blue. I'm not sure if that affects Geomancy or summons, but I guess we'll find out with some practice. And we got a Limit, which fully charges yourself, which does give him a lot of damage. And then this is a new thing, too. So, now we can upgrade our spells. If you use them a lot on yourself, basically you need to enchant yourself with fire and then kill enemies with your Spellblade that are weak to fire or something, and then you'll charge it up and unlock it. It's a lot of messing around. Like, I don't know if it's worth the trouble, but in theory, you can power up your magic spells a bit, and then Spellcraft's the same. So, Runic might be worth it. The limit is pretty good, and then leveling up your otherwise kind of garbage spells, maybe. Let's see. We have Control. We now have Catch, and there's a whole job to catch everything. That's new. And then once you've caught them, you can use them. But if it's like FF5, it's just a one-time deal. Like, I think it was more like you caught them, and then you released them, and they did a special attack. But now it says they fight alongside you till the end of the battle, so interesting. Guaranteed control, but it's a charge. So this is like, spend a limit and a turn for next turn to control. That's not amazing. Right, I could be going for rare encounters, but it doesn't really matter. So now we can reserve a spell. I believe only one. We can test that out too. But yeah, we can sample a terrain. So theoretically, you could save an ice terrain to use one ice spell against. Also, Geostorm is just your limit, does good damage against anything that's weak to something. That seems pretty good. Interesting. And then for our Evoker, now Summoner, we finally have a skill which lets you summon a random summon. Probably one that you've learned. Unfortunately, that means you could use your turn to summon Shiva and waste a turn doing nothing. So, again, you know. We also have Astral Flow, recast the most recently used summon immediately. Now, I'm not sure how this works exactly, but maybe that skips the charge turn. Finally, these are the same as before, I think. Alright, so we got a couple things to test. Just gonna have a slightly longer episode today. We would have had time for this if I hadn't gotten sort of hosed by Ifrit. In theory, we go Frozen Sample, so that we can bring, like, this is... I really hope that it's not a one use. If it is a single use, it's pretty lame. But you can only get this post-promotion, right? So the fact that you don't start with that, like, the time you need it is before you're promoted, right? Like, now we can fly around and get ribbons and stuff, and we'll have other ways of contributing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating it, but it seems really too little too late. Especially if it's only one use. But, again, we'll figure that out here in a minute. Luckily, with the Geomancer, we don't take lava damage, and we can zip through to the bottom floor pretty quick. Volcano is at least nice for that, is if you're not checking all the treasure rooms, you don't have to fight very much. And Steiner does resist fire naturally now, so that's something. I guess maybe you'd rather store... We have the option. Because you could store the fire and use an anti-fire against Ifrit. Although I stored ice because that'll help us, you know, do ice damage. So it's kind of questionable which one is more useful, but... we can try them both if we fail. Seems likely at this point. At least we got down here pretty quick. Like, what, 2 fights to get here? It's not much. Oh, it's just about just reset right there again. Alright. Come on, Ifrit. We've got the happy dwarf music going. Can do it, guys. Actually, wait. Nope, it's anti-wind. Useless. I was gonna say, if Shiva gave us anti-fire, that might be a way to make this fight easier by actually using Shiva. But it doesn't give us anti-fire. So, Never mind. Anti-wind, which no enemy uses, so hooray. I mean, we could try catching something. It's on my to-do list. Fire captured. That's my first capture. Woo! Oh, I should probably equip him his ice axe too when we get there, because oh, but he's not weak to ice. That's the thing. I was like, oh, we could use this to beat Ifrit, but no, he's only weak to water, right? Let me double check. Maybe he's both. I forget. Just water. So the ice axe does nothing special. I mean, we're not going to catch him or anything. Hmm. 31 damage. So Runic did nothing. The Cull Beast is actually really cool. I mean, I'll give you that. That's really neat. Ifrit, of course, just decided to one-shot Lena and Rydia, so this fight seems cursed. And the fire turns on us. This is not looking good. So the ice, capturing the ice was completely garbage. Does absolutely nothing. Or using the ice terrain anyway did nothing. So I wish we didn't have to do this stupid fetch quest every time. This fight is way too difficult. I mean, it's nice that we don't just game over, but like, this is a lot of running around for a fight that seems borderline impossible. Get. Okay. Still hurts, but could be worse. But now, theoretically, we could try to absorb Fire 3. Okay. So it isn't a one-time use. I mean, we only need the one here anyway. I was worried that when you sample the terrain, it would just be a one-time and that would be the end of it, but it's not. He hits pretty hard too with physical. I should have done Kieran for regen though. Would have been better. Okay, we absorbed. So that was cool. We absorbed Fire 3. That was much better than other turns. This does give us some buff, and I think it lets you enchant everyone at once or something like that. Now, he's either going to do a physical attack or charge his laser beam. So Runic is useless. See how much damage we could do, I guess. Yeah, Ash is pretty much garbage here, unfortunately. We could go for a control or something, but I don't think it works on bosses ever. So we did a magic up. We could go damage up. And fire is not going to work, but we can also heal HP a bit. I think what I'll do is Kieran for some regen. I hope that doesn't overwrite our water effect. Didn't seem to. Was Ifrit charging that turn? I didn't catch his spell. I guess I should... We should go full power for the next attack. I mean, maybe you can guarantee control via limit. I doubt it, but Ash's basic attack is just not going to matter. Geostorm should do good damage. Might as well do it. And... recast the last summon. If we were going to recast... I mean, we could... I know he's not weak to ice, but... we do need some more healing, honestly. Oh, Geostorm did 600 damage. Nice. Okay, well, post-promotion, not as bad. If you've got access to limit breaks, and... I think the reserves work better than I thought. So that does get around one of my big problems of not having the right element. Especially if it persists, like... What? What? Didn't it say I had it? Oh, it's because I have... Maybe I've got the same one as we're in. Maybe it's like you've stored a volcano charge in the volcano, so you can't use it here. Is that what we're trying to tell me? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Let's... I know I need to end this episode. I want a little bit more science, though. So out in the world... we have access to our fire, but it's not recharging. Maybe that's the thing. Because our regular ones recharge as soon as we change zones. The reserves might be like until you run out and then that's it. I guess that's fair. I kind of think that shouldn't be okay, like... hot take. Some of these abilities shouldn't be locked behind promotion. I understand you want promotions, like when you're trying to make these when you're trying to make these mods, these custom things, it's a balancing act of like, hey, Final Fantasy 1 has a promotion, you want to use it to unlock cool abilities, right? Like, I totally get it. But that's what the Geomancer needs to function at a basic level. Being able to move one, and like they don't last at low levels. You're only gonna have one of each. So even if you could use reserve at low levels at the beginning of the game, you would just reserve something and then take it out to sea or whatever, and you get like a couple casts out of it, and that would be it. But Sure, it's going to be good now for the second half of the game, and I think that'll really help. But, yeah, it's, you know, halfway through the game. At the point where the game is usually getting easier. Geostorm, of course, a good limit for enemies that are weak to an element, but limits are once in a while. Yeah, I feel like, yes, this is what we needed for the Geomancer to not suck. Hopefully, or the Elementalist now, whatever. But I think that with comboing the correct element and being able to actually bring in a couple elements that enemies are weak to, although it definitely takes some prep to save the right one, and you only get like so many charges that you can reserve. That definitely is going to make a big difference. The Summoner, Random Call I haven't used yet, technically. We'll just show it off here. It depends on what you randomize to, but random abilities are very rarely, like, something I'm hyped about. So, you know, that's fine, but still very random. I don't know if that limit is very good. We'll keep trying. I don't think the upgrade for Evoker to Summoner has really improved them very much. I was really hoping when you promoted, it would reduce the charge time or something, but it does not. So, Ramu, Titan, Ifrit, Shiva still seem pretty weak, but the other ones are still strong. Like, that's fine. We got a lot of work to do on catching and using and releasing and figuring that out. There is achievements for all of that. We got the basic one, but there should be completionist. I'm looking for gotta catch them all. So there are 90 creatures to capture. It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take some work. Might save that for a little bit later. But yeah, that's completely new to me. So I think the Beastmaster at least is interesting. And it depends on what they can do, but honestly, very similar to the Geomancer, because you have to set it up in advance. And then finally, the now Rune Knights. I think Runic is also something maybe they needed to start with. They're pretty weak in that first half of the game. Runic seems to be pretty useful, but if you can't, like, maybe it just needs to get upgraded, right? Like, maybe pre-promotion it works, but you can only charge a little bit, and you can't buff yourself up to max. Or maybe it doesn't have first strike or something, and then after promotion, then it's like this. But not having, like, I feel like Geomancer and Spellblade really missed out in the first half. Because I still don't think Impart is very good. I mean, I could be missing something, but... Anyway, we got to end this episode. I'm way over time. But, hey, we've done the first sort of opening part of the game now. We're officially into the air. And we've got lots of things to look at. We got side quests, we got shopping, we got selling, we got all kinds of cool things. So we can look forward to that next time. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you next time for my questionable powered party. And hopefully I can find some cool synergies now that we're in the promotion second half. See you guys next time. Have a great day.